Hi guys, welcome back to my crafting channel. As promised, today we're going to do something with jars, okay? And what I'm trying to do for you is to give you some ideas that you can do with the kids, with things you've got lying around the house, so you don't necessarily have to go shopping to buy any crafting material. And it's a really good way of recycling it as well. So I've got quite a few different jars here. So as I said, all you need is a jar. It doesn't matter what jar it is, the size of it or anything, okay? Because we can do this on any size jar, okay? So I've got absolutely different sizes from large down to some really small ones, which I won't use today. You also need a selection of paints and some felt tip pens, all right? And if you've got it, an egg box. If you haven't, you can still make this out of cardboard, it's okay. But again, it's just a way of reusing something you've got lying around. I think this was from Aldi or Lidl, and then I've got an egg box here from Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's, could be Sainsbury's or Tesco, I can't remember. Anyway, I keep everything. My husband must be really tolerant of me because I don't throw anything away because I want to try and use it in some way. So let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is pick your jars, as I said, and you need to paint for today 2 white and 1 pink, okay? So make sure your glass is clean, okay? You can use white spirits to clean it, just to get all the labels off. And you need to paint the lid and the glass, okay? You might need a few coats, so don't expect that you can do this in one hit, all right? If you haven't got paint, why don't you just cover the glass with white paper? That's absolutely fine, okay? And then do the same. You just need to cut it out and then glue it on top, all right? So, as I said, if you don't have paint, don't panic, okay? Just cover it with white, okay? So, I've got some I made earlier here. This is my Blue Peter specials. So, as I said, I've done the lids and I've done the jars, and also got a pink one here. So I've got 2 white and 2 pink. So different sizes, but it doesn't matter, okay? You get the same effect. So let's work on the white one first. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to make a clown. And these are great for the kids, so you can get them involved, get them making these, and then they can pop sweets in. If you're going to do that, don't paint the insides, okay guys? Because I don't know what paint you're using, whether it's toxic or whatever, so just paint the outside. But this is great for the kids. If you want to put some little things in there for Easter for them, or they want to give you a present for Easter, they can pop some of your favourite little sweets in there or something. But these are great just as ornaments as well for the kids, all right? So let's get cracking. Let me move all these other jars out of the way. Okay, so the first jar I'm going to use, okay, I said we're going to make a clown. And this is where the egg box comes in. So in your egg box, if you can see, you've got these great little sort of, what do you call them? Triangles? I don't know what you call them. And all you need to do is cut them out, all right? Now, get a pair of scissors. They're really easy just to cut out. She says, she just rips one. Okay, so I'm just going to trim it around the edge because I want it to just be the cylinder shape, okay? Okay, so that is my clown's hat, believe it or not. So if I find my lid, she says, we have a lid here, there we go. So, can you see? So what I'm going to do now is paint this hat any colour I want. So I'm going to paint that red, okay, so I'm just going to paint that and I'll come back and show you, okay? Right, so my little hat is drying, so while that's drying, I'm just going to move on to the actual clown face. Okay, so I've got my jar here, so I'm just going to pop it on its side there, and this is where you need your Sharpies, alright? So first of all, we need a black pen. It doesn't need to be Sharpie actually, it can be any felt tip pen, alright? Now clowns obviously have funny eyes, don't they? So let's draw the eyes on first. There we go. And they always have a nice big red nose. Now if you had a red pom-pom you could stick it on, but I don't. So I'm just going to paint it, okay? So again, red felt tip pen and just put a big red nose on. There you go. And you can be as big as you want, okay? Give him a nice big red nose, there we go. Okay, and then we're going to give him a really big smile, okay? Okay. Okay, there we go. So we got our clown's little face. And then we've got our lid. Let's put our lid on. Oops. Oops, there we go. And then what we want to do is we want to give him a little bit of hair, because clowns always have their hair sticking out. So all we're going to do is just on the side here, including the lid bit, okay, is just paint. I say paint, just draw in a bit of hair. You see what I'm doing here on the side? And obviously when you put the lid on, you need to make sure you put the lid on the same way every time, alright? Otherwise it's going to look a little bit silly. Okay, and if you can get into the little crooks here as well, and here. That's it. Now for the kids, obviously, because clown's hair is very messy, if they go over the lines, it doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, and then we'll do the same on the other side. There we go. Okay, he's looking a little bit more like a clown now, isn't he? Okay, so hopefully my hat should now be dry. There we go. Now, if you haven't got any pom-poms, okay, what you can do is just paint on some little circles here, but I do have some pom-poms, and so I am going to glue these on just for effect. Just going to warm my hot glue up. If you haven't got hot glue gun, guys, what you can do is just use normal glue, all right? You don't need to have a glue gun. I'm sorry, just knocked you, okay? Now, I'm trying to think what colour shall I do for the pom-poms, and I'm thinking I want to keep it really bright, so I'm going to go for pink. In fact, no, do you know what? I'm going to do 3 different colours. And I'm going to do a different colour on top as well, on top of there. What do you think? So, if your kids are a bit impatient and the hat hasn't dried quick enough for them, just put the hairdryer over it. It works a treat, it really does. So let's start with the top. And put a nice blob of glue on top. There. Oops. I think I'm going to go with the blue on top for my hat. There we go. And then I want to put 3 symmetrically down here. So do the first one here. So let's go pink. Oops. There. The only thing with using glue guns is you get this stringy bit, which drives me crackers. Right, I'm going to do the top one just so that I know where the middle bit's going to be. And I'm thinking yellow. Just there. So we know exactly where the middle is. Just there. There we go. Right, so you've got your clown's hat there. So all we now need to do is glue that onto our little jar. So you want to make sure that your clown's hat is in the right place, which is just there. Okay. So I'm just going to put glue on the bottom. As I said, don't worry if you haven't got this sort of glue. Any glue will do. PVA school glue will be fine. Alright. Okay. Right. So now I'm just going to make sure I've got mine in the middle. So I'm just going to turn it away my way just for a second. There we go. Okay. Oops. Alright, and then all I'm going to do now is just paint the rest of the lid on the top so it blends nicely with the rest of the hat. Right, so there is, oops, jar number one. That's your little clown. Let's just make that so you can see it. Really cute, isn't it? Okay, so we'll leave that to dry to one side while we start jar number two. Right, so let's move on to jar number two. So for this one, I need the lid to stay black. Okay, if it's not black in the first place, then obviously you can paint it black, but if not, just leave it exactly like that. I want my jar white though. So I'm going to pop my jar to one side because I don't need to use it at the moment, but I also need a toilet roll. And I'm going to use the lid of my egg box. Okay, so first of all I'm going to draw around my toilet roll like so. Okay, and I'm just going to cut that out and I'm going to glue that to the top of my toilet roll. But first of all I need to chop my toilet roll down to about just over a third. Okay, I don't need all the toilet roll. Okay, because this is going to make a top hat. Let's get rid of that for my jar. Okay, so I'm just going to check the edges are all straight. My cutting isn't always perfect. That's perfect now. So I'm going to pop a bit of hot glue, and again, if you haven't got hot glue, just any other glue all the way around the edge, oops, of this. Okay, done like that. And just stick that on, like so. Okay, and then if you've got any bits sticking over the edge, just give them a little trim. And then all we need to do now is paint this black, or if you've got it, some black felt or some black paper, all right? But I'm going to do this assuming that you haven't, all right? Because I want this to be a project you can do with the kids without actually going shopping for expensive crafting material, okay? Okay, then just make sure you paint your lid with the same paint as, oops, she says, as the hat, okay? Just so it blends in better, all right? I know it's black on black, but it just gives a nicer finish. Don't need to worry about that bit in the middle because you're not going to see that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just leave that to dry. Okay, and as I said, if you're impatient, you can get the hairdryer on this and it will dry it quicker for you. All right, so once that's dry, we'll come back to that. But in the meantime, what I also want to do is make my gentleman, because this is going to be a gentleman, a nice little dicky bow. So again, using your egg carton, just cut a piece off. You want a flat piece, okay, if you can. Okay, so nothing's going to waste here, okay. Oops, and then on your flat piece, so there's a nice flat piece there, let's just move that so I don't get it all over me. There is, I'm going to draw just like a nice little dicky bow. Okay. And make sure it's the same each side. There we go. And then just cut it out. There we go. Just check that you're happy with the cut shape of it. If not, just trim it. Okay. And then just give that a little paint. Okay, with some black paint as well. I'm going to do both sides because I want it to stick out a little bit. I don't want you to see that it's cardboard on the other side, okay? I'll give it both a little bit of a colour. There we go. Okay, so I'll leave that to dry as well. And then because I want the dicky bow to look like a proper dicky bow, it needs just a little bit in the middle. So what I'm going to do is take my cardboard and just give myself a little square, okay? Just so it looks like it's been tied, okay? And then I need to paint that as well. Okay, right, so while that's drying, I'm going to wash my hands. Right, okay, so let's start looking at the face for this one. Now I have got some little wiggly eyes here. If you haven't got them, you can just paint the eyes on, but as I've got these here, what I'm thinking is I might just use them. Let me find two the same size, okay. Are they the same size? They are. So I'm just going to glue these on. As I said, if you haven't got them, it's fine. You can just paint an eye shape on. So what I'm going to do first of all is put a nose on now. So let me just put a nose. There we go. And then I'm going to give my little gentleman a nice happy smile. It's a nice happy smile, isn't it? And then I'm just going to glue my eyes on. As I said, just paint them on if you haven't got a glue gun, alright? What I'm probably going to do is pop the glue actually onto the glass, easier. There we go. Oops. What do you think so far? Okay, so now we need to start building them back up, don't we? So let's get the hat and the dicky bow. So first of all, I'm going to stick his dicky bow on. Okay, so we'll lay him down and just going to put some glue there. As I said, if you've got a hot glue gun, guys, just PVA glue is absolutely fine. Okay. So I'm going to bend my dicky bow a little bit like that, just so it sticks out. Okay. And then I'm just going to pop a bit more glue in the middle there. Just a little bit like that. And pop on the square that we cut out earlier, just to make it look like it's a proper tied up dicky bow. There we go, can you see? And then we've got his hat. Let me just move that away. So I've got this little hat here. So again, all I'm going to do is pop some glue under the bottom. Like so. And then just pop it straight on in the middle of my lid. And let's pop my lid on. And there is my little man. So that is jar number 2. Right, so my third and final jar is going to be a unicorn. So I'm just going to cut myself out another of these cones from my egg box. Now obviously that's too wide for a unicorn, I know. So what I'm going to do is just trim the edges again, okay. And then I'm just going to cut up the middle, like so, and take out one of the panels, like that, okay. And then I'm going to glue that back together, Okay. I do apologise about the noise in the background. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that every time I try and record, a dog eats. Oh, it happens every time. Okay, so that's stuck back down. Okay. Now, obviously, I need to make it look like the unicorn horn, and that doesn't look anything like a unicorn horn at the moment. So, I've got some string here. Any string will do. And what I'm going to do, there is a little hole at the top of this one, so I'm just going to pop a bit of glue on the end there and pop that in just to hold it in place for me. And I'm just going to wrap it around. Okay, so let's just do one more, I think, to that. Yep, I think I'm happy with that, so I'm just going to cut that off. And I'm just going to glue that inside. So put some glue. Just glue that in there. Okay. Right, let's move that string to one side. And now all I'm going to do is paint that to look like a unicorn horn. And I've got some yellow paint, which I think I'm going to use on this one. So let me get my palette back. Pop it in. Right, okay, so there's my unicorn horn painted. So I'm going to pop that to one side and leave it to dry. Just making sure I've covered every bit. Okay, so I'll leave that to one side there. Oops, okay. And then we need to get on with the rest of my unicorn. No unicorn is dressed without some flowers, okay, and some ears. So I've painted this one pink, okay. So I'm just going to pop that to one side, and then we're going to work on the ears. All right, so back to my egg box, okay, and I'm going to cut out another one of these, okay. And then so for the ears, all I'm going to do is take one of these panels, and then another panel, okay. And then just going to shape it into an ear, like so. I'm going to use this one as a template to make sure they're identical. There we go, like that. And then I need to make two smaller ones go inside the ear. So I can move all my rubbish to one side over there. And now what I need to do is I need to paint my ears. So I'm going to use for this white for the inside and then pink for the outside of the ears. Right, so we can start assembling our little unicorn now. So I've got the horn and I've got my ears drying out here nicely. And then obviously unicorns have flowers, and if you don't have any artificial flowers at home, you could make your own out of paper. These are just some I had lying around. You know, you can use any colours you want. You don't need to sort of stick to these sort of colours. Pinks, yellows, anything will go with this. This probably is a little bit bigger than I would choose, but it's available, and I'm not going to be spending money. This is a craft on a budget. So again, I've got my heat gun, but really again, can't express enough, you don't need a heat gun. You can just use normal PVA glue. All right, so I'm just going to put some glue on the bottom of here. Okay, and just stick that on there, like so. See that? Okay, and then I've got my ears here, and you'll notice there's a smooth side and a rough side. I want the rough side to be inside the ears, okay? So I'm going to first of all pop my white bits in the middle. like that. There we go. And then I'm going to glue my ears on, so I'm just going to pop a bit of glue right down the bottom here. Okay, and I'm just going to stick them like that. And on that side, like that. And then my flowers, just put one right in the middle of there. And then on either side. So one there. And then one there. Okay, so that's the top of my unicorn. And now I need to finish the rest of it. So here's my jar. I'll just turn my hot glue off. Okay. And then all we need to do with our black pen is make some beautiful unicorn eyes. Now with most unicorns, all you see is the lashes, and they are stunningly beautiful lashes, aren't they? So we need to make sure that we get them right. So what I'm going to do is turn it my way so I can see it, okay? And then just 2 half moons initially. Like that, and then add your lashes. Like that. There we go. And that is all you need for that. So what I'm going to do is pop my lid on, like so. Just making sure the lid's in the right place. And there we have, so that's jar number 3, a unicorn. Okay, so let me clear this up and I'll show you these properly. So what did you think of those? They're really simple, but they look very, very cute, and for a little project for the kids, I just think, you know, you can't go wrong using recycled jars, a little bit of paint that you might have around the house, and some colouring crayons, or colouring felt tips rather, and just a little bit of an imagination. So out of all of this, apart from the flowers and the eyes, everything else is handmade, but you can paint those eyes on, guys, and you can make the flowers out of coloured paper. You don't need to have these if you haven't got them, alright? So I just really wanted to show you how you could make some really cheap craft items with the kids and have a little bit of fun. Alright, so I hope you like that. If you did, guys, don't forget, please subscribe to my channel, click notifications, and give me a thumbs up. My next video, I'm going to be making things like toilet rolls, so you better start collecting your toilet rolls, okay? And the theme will be Easter, so I'm going to be showing you how you can set your dinner table for Easter, because we obviously can't go to restaurants at the moment, but you can set it for Easter with the kids, and everything that you will dress it with will be handmade. Alright guys, so please stay tuned for that one. Alright, as I said, my crafts today were on a budget for the kids to make, so that you can make it with what you've got lying around the house. My next one exactly the same. Alright guys, so I do hope you like it. Alright, if you do need to subscribe. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. Okay, don't forget to collect your toilet rolls. Alright, see you soon. Bye. Bye.